oh maybe, you like my easy smile. And maybe, oh maybe, you'll stop for a little while. And maybe, oh maybe, I'll ask if you like tea. And maybe, oh maybe, you'll have a cup with me. And maybe we don't, and decide to take a walk. And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Hello, Amber.
Hi, Natasha. Here we are.
Here we are.
Should I tell people where we are?
We are. We are in the Seattle Japanese Garden for today's topic.
This is also the ancestral and unceded lands of the Coast Salish peoples, particularly the Duwamish, Suquamish, Muckleshoot, and Stillaguamish peoples.
And this garden is operated between Seattle Parks and Recreation and the Arboretum Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that supports the garden through cultural programming, community outreach, and fundraising. And what a beautiful place to start our topic today of living more simply. By the time it comes out, we'll have a better title for it, but also like
the end of this episode, we'll have a
maybe. We'd also like to welcome you to Ponder While We Wander, where two friends who happen to be therapists go for a walk as we discuss relationships, nature, and meet life in the moment. Each episode is grounded in some aspect of eco-psychology, but can take us anywhere as we ponder while we wander. And you are welcome to come along. All right, so we were just sitting on this little bench here, getting ourselves ready.
Yes.
And I think I can put my backpack on, so you're going to hear a little bit of rustling.
So I'm wearing a loud jacket today. I'm going to try to keep it real quiet.
Your jacket quiet.
So when we very first walked in, we paused. There's this beautiful tree, and you told me that it was a split maple tree.
Split leaf maple.
Maple tree. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Beautiful. Look at the bark on that tree.
What is this one?
Just beautiful.
Peeling off and crumbling into little pieces.
I love that we just passed a guy who was concerned about somebody who I think just took a spill, and he's yelling at her, "Slow down." We will try to impart this in a more soothing and maybe constructive way.
Man.
Yes. You may hear some street noise. You may hear other people around, but this is a beautifully manicured garden, Japanese garden, with lots of rhododendrons and some azaleas. Not some, a bunch of azaleas. There's a little pond over here and different conifers. Very intentional. I would say Japanese gardens are intentional and in bloom right now with the season. Like on this little outgrowth.
Sure, onto this little pond.
So this topic about living more simply comes up from things that I hear some clients saying, people in my life, even myself. There's a time where I just want to live more simply, and I'm going to ask the question. And after I ask it, you might even want to pause this episode to think about it. But the question is, what comes to mind when you think about living more simply? What do you imagine if you imagine your life living more simply?
Oh, like a deep sigh of relief. What comes up when you say that?
There's a feeling that comes with it.
For sure.
Yeah. Any other words or any other images?
Yeah. Lots of other things come up. I think a big one that comes up for me is just like managing my stuff. And I'm always talking about how I want to clear things out or move things along or donate things, just kind of creating a little bit more spaciousness or less clutter in my home. Think about spending less time on my phone, like less technology time. There's always this kind of speed or, I don't know, not necessarily urgency, but like a different pace when I'm engaging with my phone a lot. Think about a lot of things of like just the ability to I don't know, what am I trying to say about this? This like ability to kind of like be available to do things that are like really interesting or fun, or sort of having that like some time freedom around it, unstructured time, or not being able to be a little bit spontaneous with my time.
Yeah. I think for myself, and when I have asked the question of other people, there's this like idea that gets conjured up of like either a cabin in the woods or a cabana on the beach. So somehow, yeah, having that, maybe it's away from the life that you're in almost every day, or like both of those images are like a little bit closer to natural environments. So that kind of comes up, but there are some other factors that are kind of common, that people imagine. Less technology, that less feeling of being rushed, like a slower pace. Yeah, be able to do the things that matter. More time. Yeah, not one person has said like a simpler life means more technology. But I guess if technology helps you create that, who knows?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, some people do really enjoy that. So it's not, for me, when I think about the technology, it's not just the technology. It's the way that I think sometimes technology,
It's beautiful.
that is really beautiful, the root structures of the trees, will have a tendency to kind of push into all the aspects of life. When I say less technology, it's not no technology, but it's less of like the impulse for it and more of like maybe intentionally using it, or feeling like I can create a little bit of space around it that helps it feel like I'm living a bit more simply, and not just the impulse to grab my phone when I have a few minutes of downtime.
Yeah. So, people who take a look at this living more simply, one, I think there are whole industries that are designed to kind of look at that as a problem, and have created quote unquote solutions for your problem or our problem or my problem of complexity or what it is. But, I think when we look at problems versus symptoms with this, when we look at overcomplicated lives or really complex living modernity, there are some consequences that start to happen. We'll go down here to the right.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So people report that there is more overwhelm and stress in their life, that it could lead to burnout, dissatisfaction with their lives, more distraction. There's also some unintentional cost that goes along with it. Could be physical symptoms. Whoa. We got to take a picture of him.
Oh my gosh.
He's just sitting right there, the biggest
giant
frog
frog.
ever. Just sitting there.
Oh, he's so cute.
Doesn't care. We're here.
He's real, right?
Yeah, he is real.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen one that big in a while. Okay, sorry.
Physical consequences. Financial impacts with this. Financial consequences, like if you forget to pay a bill, or life is so complicated that we have accidents that could have been prevented. Those cost us financially.
Yeah.
And also relationship-wise, right? It can cost us in relationships if our lives are too complex or complicated or...
How much we're showing up intentionally with the people that we love, even relationship with ourselves.
Yes. It could also lead to overconsumption and dependence on things that we really don't necessarily need to be dependent on. Now, before you go grab your new planner and be like, if I just could plan out my life, right? Just had that new system. Okay. Yeah, again, there are multiple industries out there that want you to be very concerned about this issue right now and have the solution for you. But the reality is that, just notice what comes up for you. And for a lot of us, when we start thinking about this, is that it's common. It has to do with how we're living in modernity and what we...
the symptom of the larger problem.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Are we talking about symptoms or problems? So as we're going along, you realize that there's a little bit of anxiety, or you wanting to turn away, or you wanting to not pay attention. That's okay too. So when it was interesting when we were talking about this subject. We're also talking about it in terms of the next podcast that we're going to talk about as well, which is what to do about our stuff, like our relationship with our stuff, material stuff in the world. And it was interesting because we had to really kind of say, well, what's the difference? Right. And the difference is actually very large. So when we talk about simplicity, we're kind of talking about, well, how would we do a little bit of an assessment to see where the issue is? Why are our lives so complicated? And what's going on? And we came up with some research, came up with a list of things, so we'll talk about that. So one of the things one of the first things is this idea of busyness, or maybe even overscheduling. And that can come with a lot of outside pressures, which are social or economic or professional. But they can also come from internal factors like fear of missing out and our own anxiety around things. And so that was something that you maybe assess for yourself if that's coming up.
Me? No, you're asking.
Everybody.
Okay. I got distracted by this step. I mean, sure, probably, yeah. What am I missing out on right now? That's why I was distracted. I was looking over there.
Me? Who are you talking to?
Yeah, who are you doing this podcast with? Weird.
Nice.
Yes. What are we missing out on? I'm not missing out on anything. I'm right where I need to be in this moment.
I love it. You are just in the moment. Love it. Yeah. Some of the other things we can take a look at are our attachment to things. So that could be the material things that we're talking about. And we will continue to talk about in the next episode.
Yes.
But also attachment in kind of a Buddhist psychology kind of way, which is attachment to the way we think things should be. And if we really think about, like, there might not be any right or wrong way to do things, but we do have these attachments to the way things should be, or the way people should react and respond to us, or be in relationship with us, or
Yeah. A lot of that can be things that we learned or were taught to us, or ideas that we picked up along the way. We're starting to lean into a little bit of checking out our values, right? Like, how do our values play into this idea of living simply? Like, what do we value?
Yeah, we can start to pay attention to the distractions. That seems like a weird thing to say, but noticing when we're getting distracted, what we're getting distracted by, and becoming more intentional about bringing ourselves back to what is important to focus on in the moment.
Yes.
And in a bigger sense, in our larger lives, and then maybe even in the systems that we have. Maybe it'd be simpler if we go sit on the top of that hill over there.
Actually, quite a lot to
There's a lot
navigate
to
and look at here.
Yeah. And that kind of leads us to like multitasking versus single tasking. I think that a lot of systems benefit from us being distracted, but also are helped by us multitasking. And some of us, say that we work better in that way if we multitask or can get things done. That's not always helpful to us or the situation.
Yeah, I think it just probably also depends a little bit on what are you multitasking, right? Like, are you doing, one activity? Like, I'm thinking about, for me when I cook, I sometimes like to cook a lot of things at the same time. It helps me stay interested and engaged. But when I think about multitasking in other ways where I have perhaps competing needs or values happening at the same time, or expectations that I'm trying to multitask or multi-manage, that becomes a very different experience around stress or overwhelm versus being able to kind of be in that flow and this bit more simplicity we're talking about.
Yeah. I also think that we don't often allow ourselves to have good transitions around the things in our lives, whether it just even is a daily kind of transition from one thing to the next thing that we're doing. But even in life, when we have these big life transitions, I think there's this expectation that you're supposed to just be ready to go to the next phase of your life, from high school to whatever you're going to do after high school, or from one job to the next, or from being without children to being with children. And these transition periods, I think, are already complicated periods of time. And so they deserve, I think, a little bit more space and time for some simplicity around that.
Yeah.
The crow.
Well, that feels like some of these mindset shifts that are helpful when I think about what is living simply. And what you're saying there is like, what's the expectation that it should be, or that it's going to look like this, or it should be an easy transition. And we get to challenge those. Why? How come? Who said?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're starting to toggle back and forth between what might be the problem, right? What is it that we are managing other people's expectations, or other people's expectations of us? Do we care more about what other people think of us than we are concerned with the things that we are valuing in our lives? So those can be things to look at a little bit deeper with this before you just get rid of all the stuff in your house and start to live a more uncomplicated lifestyle with your stuff.
Right. And it's more than just that. You might get rid of all your stuff and realize you still have some complicated relationships happening, or values conflicts happening. be able to, yeah, even slow down and check out, like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, even the question we started with, like, what does living simply mean to you? It's a good place to even begin that process, right? Like, where do your values align here? How do you even know you'd be living simply? What would that look like for you?
Yeah, like a miracle question. If you woke up tomorrow and during the night something super magical happened, and the next morning you wake up and your life is much more simple, what would it be like?
Yeah, what would be different?
Yeah. So we're starting to talk about ways, like there are entryways. I think we can start with some things, like looking at transitions and over schedules. Maybe it's the mind shift, like you said. Maybe it's finding joy in simple things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today it could be just finding joy in sitting in a beautiful garden, talking with a friend.
Getting surprised by giant frogs.
Giant
Take it.
frogs.
Yeah. And I think two of those things around maybe noticing like how often you might be saying yes to something when really you're wanting to say no.
Yeah, just even starting to pay attention to that.
Yeah, paying attention to those places and like who gets your time. Does that feel balanced for you? People that you're giving and offering your time to, and like a good trade for you. I guess I'm talking a little bit about a little bit of an assessment here. Like, what are your values? How do you say yes or no? How often do your actions align with your values?
Yeah, just even doing like a pie chart of the last day or week or even month and how much time you spent in different aspects of your life. And does that match your values and what you want to be doing? And I mean, I think it ties into, the eco-psychology piece of it, because I think a lot of people who say being in natural spaces and having a relationship with the things that matter to them is important. But when you start to take a look at that assessment, are we actually doing that? We also may be looking at making some space or creating a little space in our days and week for simplicity. And that could mean something like, different faiths have like a Sabbath that they observe where you really hold some space and time in your week aside to kind of be with your values, whether that be with your family, maybe it's just slowing down. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's, cooking a meal together. But maybe making that part of a practice and a regular way to come back to that if it's hard to hold that. And then a practice of maybe mindful consumption. And this can go with, there's an idea of like a simplicity diet. And, some people don't like that word diet because it has kind of a negative connotation to like diet culture and nutrition. But it could be nutrition. It could be that we are consuming things that are less complicated, less processed, right? Letting our system rest a little bit by eating and consuming things that are closer to its natural form and not over processing them. But I think it could also mean a simplicity diet might include something like not purchasing things for a period of time that you don't need, and giving yourself a little bit of a break to see what that feels like. And that taking a pause before you make decisions to consume on all kinds of levels.
Yeah, what's on the menu? Yeah. we talked about sort of even just making some time to do nothing. It can be maybe a little challenging or nerve-wracking for some people, but pausing and not actually doing anything. Just hang out for a minute. Have a seat. Look out the window. Sit by your favorite tree. And be still for a moment and see what that's like as well.
Yeah. Just pausing and slowing down.
Yeah, pausing and slowing down.
I think one of the things that starts to happen for people is this recognition of maybe when we're trying to do things, we may be trying to control outcomes or control things. And that might go back to, what we are attached to, the way we think things should be. And so starting to develop maybe a sense of self-trust, trusting yourself in what you might actually need, not just want in the moment, but actually need, and based on what you know about yourself, what you're learning about yourself, what your values are. And then asking, is this a way of controlling, or is this a way of what I actually need right now?
I love that. Is there a creature swirling around me?
There's some bees that are coming through, and then see that like split over there in that post? They are like going in there. So I think you have a little home in there, which is interesting.
My jacket I'm wearing today is very bright, so I think I'm being mistaken for a flower on some level.
I'm gonna say a couple phrases to you, and I do this sometimes with clients as well, and getting really kind of grounded in your own body and here and present. And I'm gonna say a phrase and just notice where it lands in yourself, in your body, and just notice it. You don't have to do anything about it. So if I say, your worth is not in what you do. Your worth is not in what you do. Just notice where that comes up for you. And then I'm gonna say one more. What would happen if you thought less about what others think of you? I think those are two questions that we could just notice where they land with us, and if they feel connected to if we're living in ways that aren't as simple as we would like them to be.
I love those questions.
And if you're finding that the answer is yes, I'm not living in ways that I want to be, like, this is, again, there are lots of systems that are making money and are...
I want to lean into a little bit of what you just said at the very end there. Yeah, that there are systems benefiting from us feeling this way in so many areas, right? So you can find who will help you organize your stuff and do this 7-day checklist about this, and like, yeah, so there is someone else benefiting. And so just to notice that again is like, this is not like an individual singular problem. Like this is something that everybody is met with. So hopefully our conversation today at least gives you permission to consider this and to not feel alone in it, or to not feel like you're the only one that might feel overwhelmed in these ways. And that there actually are a lot of things that we can think about to perhaps begin to align us more with what it means for each of us to consider living more simply.
You have a ponder point for us today?
You know, I don't actually have a ponder point. However, I think that you had two really great ones in those questions that you had just asked us all to linger in. And so I would say those are a fantastic ponder points. I can't add another one to that today. But if you have another one, which you likely do,
Well, I think it's just reviewing. Do you need to assess for what the problem is? I mean, I think some of us can be like, oh my gosh, there's so much clutter, or I don't have enough time. And I guess the question is, are those symptoms or is that the problem? And then if there's already something that you've identified as maybe the problem, or even if you think it's a symptom that can help you get closer to the problem, because like we were talking about before this, sometimes it is about making our environment a little less complicated so that we can, or maybe even getting away from an environment that is really complicated, whether it be a relationship or physical environment, in order to do this assessment. So yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, we will continue with part of this tomorrow, not tomorrow, but in the next episode when we talk about our relationship with stuff, because there is more to talk about there.
There is.
And we're going to be on Whidbey Island for that.
Whidbey Island. Back to the Whidbey.
Back to the Whidbey.
Well,
Here, as we stand by the pond with the giant koi fish, and I'm going back to take pictures of that frog, by the way.
absolutely. He's still there. He's not moved.
Still there. So as we stand here and appreciate this a little bit more, thank you for being here and wander well.